Shalom, friends. Maybe you've made Aliyah, maybe you're making Aliyah, maybe you just love Israel and support Aliyah. Friends of the Aliyah Return Center, let me tell you what, it's election season again. Yay! It's kind of complicated in Israel. I mean, you got 38, 39 parties. Everyone's got a different viewpoint. It's not like in the US where it's just two main parties. So let's talk about it really quick. I'm going to vote. We all have to use our voices and go vote. All right, so bear with me. Let's go through a little bit about what each party believes. The Likud has traditionally supported the idea of the whole land of Israel, even if it has not always defined the state's borders precisely. Although it refuses to recognize Palestinian demands for sovereignty for a long period of time, the Likud party, with Netanyahu at its head, has since moderated its stand. Likud agrees to concessions in the Camp David Accords in 1979, right? And also, remember the demands the Palestinians made in the Madrid conference in 1991? They continued to implement the Oslo Accords, and you remember the disengagement from the Gaza Strip in 2005, was it? And also you have the let me see if I remember all this stuff, the evacuation of the Jewish settlement, and but Benjamin Netanyahu has been a really solid leader for many, many years, and you guys know he's been the longest serving prime minister when he was in last times. Okay, on socioeconomic levels, the party has the right, very right-focused. Likud enjoys the support of economically disadvantaged population. People in the periphery love Likud and Netanyahu. On religious and state issues, Likud has a centrist view. Okay, next, Yesh Atid. You remember this guy, Yair Lapid, right? Cool guy. So it defines itself as a very centrist party, and it focuses on social issues like civic issues, and also kind of minimalizing the government, the size of government. And it has a, more of a focus on political security issues. Among the causes that it champions, Yesh Atid, which is under Yair Lapid, it wants to reform the whole election threshold, limiting the number of ministers in the government, and stabilizing the position of the prime minister. Education has always been a main focus of the party. Yesh Atid also advocates for equal, rights for all of Israeli society, hopes that within several years, every single citizen, no matter if they're religious or Arabic or whatever, they will serve in the military, and they will serve either that or their civil 1-year service at least. All right, National Unity Party. Let's go. Hamachaneh Hamamlachtit. It's a centrist electoral list established, in the run-up of the 2022 elections, so it's really new. Includes a bunch of friends of Netanyahu, like Benny Gantz. He started the Blue and White Party, Gideon Sar, and New Hope as well. So I can't say too much about it. You got Matan Kahana, so some kind of more right-leaning, but it's considereed more centrist. Okay, next, religious Zionism. Hatzionut Datit, religious Zionism, is it's a rebranded name of the Ichud Leumi, or the Tkuma Party. It's a name given to a joint list, all right, that competed in 2021 elections. This list includes candidates from 3 parties, all right? 3 parties, which is the National Religious Zionism, the Otzma Yehudit, and Noam. So these are, it's new party. All right, let's go into Shas, the very religious one. Shas, do you know it's an acronym for Shomrei Sfarad? Shas, Shomrei Sfarad, the guardians of the Sephardic community. It's established a long time ago, before the 11th Knesset, and it was founded by ultra-Orthodox Sephardic Jews, which I love Sephardic Jew, how they sing in the synagogue, it's amazing. But it was a response to the sense that they were kind of excluded, institutionally disadvantaged, and pushed to the side sort of back in the day. And so they said, we're going to make a party where we're going to represent, just like the Ashkenazi Jews are represented, the Sephardi Jews are going to be really represented. And they believe in Aliyah, and they believe in the Torah sages. It's very religious. They had Ovadia Yosef, who's like one of the main rabbis around here. He served as the council's highest decision-making person. In 1990, Rabbi Shach, resigned, and you have Ovadia Yosef as the main dude. It's very hawkish. It's very religious. Okay, Israel Beiteinu. Israel Beiteinu, isn't that with... so it offers an unusual combination of hawkish right-wing positions, like yes, Judea and Samaria, yes, for the settlements, but it also has left-wing, a lot of left-wing positions. Like, it has, secular positions on the religious-secular divide. In terms of the former, the party's proposed solution for the conflict with the Palestinians is actually based on population exchanges and the creation of two completely ethnically homogenous states. Israel Beiteinu holds a right-wing fiscal, for the finances, right-wing fiscal position. And an issue of major concern is the party's system of governance in Israel. The party's solution for the issue of instability in the government is the adoption of a presidential system, which is a little different. It's more like how it's done in the United States. Labor. The first head of the Labor Party was Levi Eshkol. You remember? Since then, 4 other members of the party served as prime ministers: Golda Meir, Yitzhak Rabin, Shimon Peres, and Ehud Barak. Labor Party it's held in the reins of the power of the Knesset. From this time, from way back then until now, the Labor lost to the Likud is what happened. They had a lot of power back in 1977, but it turned around in 1977 because, of this issue of the Palestinian conflict. The party gradually moved more and more left in later years, and it was the first one to call for negotiations directly with the PLO, support the establishment of a Palestinian state. Issues of state and religion. Labor Party has been very willing to... it's torn between the ideological, like Bible, and between, hey, let's make peace and let's make coalition. And so they really have been kind of torn. Let's go to Meretz now. Meretz is on the Zionist left of the political map, okay? Left means not so much Judea, Samaria, more secular. And granting equal Arabs, make sure they have all rights, really push on that, make sure that the two-state solution, they want to make sure that happens, advocating towards peace all the time, but, really pressuring the Judea, Samaria, the heartland of Israel, pressuring Jews to maybe leave, ending those who settle in the heartland of Israel, complete separation of church and state, religion and state, opposing all religious coercion. I mean, that's nice. Don't like when people coerce us, but it's a social democratic party, supports the preservation and even the expansion of the welfare state. Okay, we got to wrap this up. Otzma Yehudit, Jewish strength, far right. It's total opposite of what I just said. Far right, but it's referred to as anti-Arab. It's referred to as very extremist. You got this guy Itamar Ben-Gvir. He is looked at by a lot as very extreme, but he would be serving in the Likud party, Netanyahu says. If Netanyahu of Likud gets in, he'll bring in Ben-Gvir as one of his ministers, and that is all very interesting. So it's time to go vote. I want you to ask for God's wisdom. Pray. Get your prayer time going and say, hey, there's plenty more. I only listed a few, but it would take forever to list them all. There's some amazing ones like Bible Block, which I love it. Gusha Tanachi, love them. Very small, but love them. They really are amazing. And so, guys, just pray into what it is that you feel God's leading, but make your voice be heard and do it on the 1st of November. All those who are praying for Israel will pray that we won't have a political standstill, political stalemate, but the right people who stand on the dream of the prophets, the word of God, would get in and be able to rule with enough power. So that's what we want. God bless you from the Galilee. Those are my thoughts on the politics of Israel.